the iMAXX podcast.
So, all right, we're going to try this again. We are live now here on the iMAXX podcast for episode number 2. Today, we have a very special guest, and he goes by the name Chano CG, or also known as ACG. And just a fun fact, he just dropped some fresh new music. You need to go check that out.
Yo.
Where can people find you? What's your tag on? What's your socials? What's your Apple Music? What do you go by?
So on distribution, you can find me on iMAXX, and on social media, iMAXX828. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to 828.
Hell yeah. All right, so we're just going to get right into it. And the biggest topic around is the halftime show at the Super Bowl. Did you check that out?
Come on, man. Of course. You know what I'm saying? Kendrick did his thing, man. But I feel like a lot of people that actually watched it, like, because, you know, it's a percentage. So, like, you got younger, older people watching it. There's probably a higher, you know, older percentage watching it. I feel like they didn't really fuck with it. I guess mess with it. My bad.
They didn't understand it for whatever reason. So a lot of the hate that I seen on like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter was most of the older generation talking about how they couldn't understand a word he was saying. They didn't understand the performance he was doing. But I myself personally was a big fan, and I think even like the first song that he performed was an unreleased song from his up and coming album or something. Let me see.
It was?
That's what I heard. First song Kendrick performed.
But yeah, a lot of people didn't really understand the message behind it, you know what I'm saying?
So what did you interpret the message as?
I mean, I could sit here and explain, but I feel like a lot of people, you know. I mean, I felt a lot of people don't know. A lot of people know too, because at the same time, I don't know if a lot of people watched it too, or really, a lot of people are really more focused on what everybody else is saying, but they're not really looking at the message. But if you know, you know, bro, for real, because I can show you, bro. I'll show you off camera, but
All right, bet.
there's a lot more things to it. You know, having Samuel Jackson.
Oh yeah.
As Uncle Sam, and especially what he was saying, just stuff like that, man. You know, but really, my favorite part about it was how, you know, knowing where Kendrick's from, and he had blue and red, you know, people hoodies coming in.
And then we also had those same people representing the whole America with the American flag he put there.
Yeah, that's dope. No, that's new.
My favorite part was probably having Serena Williams out there dancing. She's Drake's former girlfriend and also tennis superstar. It took me a second. I couldn't figure out if that was her or not. But yeah, that was pretty. That part was one of my favorites. And then probably when he was looking at the camera saying, "Hey Drake," you know that Drake was sitting at home, and he had a big smile on his face probably whenever Kendrick did that.
Kendrick and Drake.
So so talking about that beef and everything that happened last year, I guess about this time.
Yeah.
Who were you pulling for during that rap battle?
I don't know, man. Honestly, I feel like the whole beef is fake, man.
I agree with that 100%.
I didn't want to say, but music-wise, I don't know. I mean, I've always been fans of both, man.
I found myself the whole time pulling for Kendrick at points and then pulling for Drake at points, and then Kendrick dropped "Not Like Us" and then it was over, and then I just feel bad for Drake.
When you hear that coming on, you have to dance. You have to. You know what I mean?
He dropped that I think on I can't remember if it was I know it was like late at night whenever he dropped that. I think it was like a Saturday night. It was actually so I just moved down here to Bowling Springs last April.
Yeah.
And we were looking at this house trying to decide what house we were going to buy. And I think it was the second time I think we had just put our offer in at this house. And the whole trip, because it's an hour from where I used to live.
Yeah.
And the whole trip down here, me and my wife, I forced her to listen to the whole Beef, and I was just going through each and every song. And then that night, so we came, looked at the house that day, and I think Family Matters had just dropped. And then that night we got home, and I'm pretty sure that's when Kendrick dropped "Not Like Us," and I was like, "Oh, it's over."
Yeah, it's like holy cow, you know what I mean? But it's like when you remember the Drake and Meek beef.
Oh yeah,
Drake and Meek Mill, like, bro, it was like, whose side do I pick? But it was like they're both heat. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like it's better off.
I wish Drake would have came back with something.
Well, he's about to drop his R&B album.
That's on Valentine's Day. Is that right?
Yeah.
With Party Next Door.
You can't fuck to Not Like
Us. He's trying to steal a spotlight from old V-Flow over here.
Can you make love to Not Like Us? I don't
know. That's true.
No, I mean honestly, but
there's definitely been some Drake albums I've listened to during that act.
Probably both.
I can't say I've ever listened to a Kendrick Lamar album during the romance session.
The romance?
No, I don't think that's happened. But I mean, if you're in the gym, I don't know. Drake still. I feel like Kendrick. He kind of he went away from the game for a while. What was it, like 3? What was it? Damn was his last album before he dropped this new one, and before like the whole rap beef started.
Yeah.
And so like Drake kind of took over, and I don't know. Like I have a lot of respect for Drake because he's consistent. He's always dropping, and he hasn't really ever took a big time. He hasn't ever took a lot of time off from dropping music, and then 90% of the time he's still at the top of the charts. So I don't know. I'm interested to see kind of what happens when he starts dropping again, or if I didn't know he had an album coming out. Yeah. But I'm interested to see kind of where that goes on the charts, because I guess that'd be the first thing he's put out since the beef started.
I think so. I'm pretty sure his new album is with Party Next Door, right?
Yeah. And they're out of Toronto too, I believe.
Which is crazy.
So kind of with all that saying, like kind of going back to Facebook and all the hate, like the first thing I saw is all these people hating on Kendrick Lamar's show. And so like the question I have on that is, why do you think people hate on music or art that they don't understand?
Dude, that's a good question. Let's say this. Hold on. Look, because a lot of people are told, don't go in the dark because you can't see, right? Go in the dark. And I don't know if you've ever had this moment, but when you go in the dark, like your eyes will basically adjust to the darkness. You can kind of see stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, for sure.
So it's kind of like that. But a lot of people, when they tell them don't go in the dark, I'm not going in the dark. So it's like, all right, don't listen to rap music. So when they see it, it's like they're putting up a shield, Captain America shield type shit. You can't get through that. You know what I'm saying? No matter what kind of weapon you got, you can't get through it. You know what I'm saying? Hulk couldn't beat the Captain America shield. You know what I'm saying? So just put it like that. So it's like a lot of people can't take that shield away. So it's like, if they don't understand it, they're not gonna understand it. You know what I'm saying?
Because I feel like if you listen to Kendrick and you listen to like all of his projects, like one of my favorite Kendrick Lamar projects is the Untitled album, and I think it was just a bunch of unreleased or unedited, unmastered songs that he dropped back in 2017. But I feel like he couldn't have done a better representation on the show than what he did. Like if you've listened to his albums, you kind of know his style, and he's always got these little interludes in there. And having Samuel L. Jackson in there was just another element that he had that was kind of it showcased kind of like what he does in his albums and kind of telling the whole story. And I honestly don't think he could have done a better job of showing the world of who he is and what his music's about.
Exactly. Have you heard We Gonna Be Alright?
We Gonna Be Alright. Yeah.
If you listen to that song, you look at the video, you will kind of understand exactly what he's trying to do to the world, which is basically unite everybody. But that's really, I feel like the world really needed that Super Bowl performance right now, man.
Yeah.
But
How do you,
they don't understand it, man. So what
they-
can we do?
and so then everybody's gonna be analyzing it, and I'm definitely not the best analyst of performance arts, but like everybody's talking about it, and it'll probably go on for another week or so of everybody watching it. I know, like on my TV, it had like on Google TV, like a lot. The main thing that kept popping up for me to watch next is just the Super Bowl. So a lot of people's getting their eyes on that.
Yeah.
Which I like to live in the moment, so I watched it live, and I haven't watched anything other than like maybe some highlights from it since then.
No one's looking at the highlights, right?
Yeah.
From the real game.
Yeah, the whole game, that was a terrible game. I didn't really care to watch it a whole lot. I haven't really paid attention to the season all year.
Is,
But
Taylor Swift,
Taylor Swift, I'm
I'm coming for you, baby.
I can't say that I was offended that the Eagles won. I was pulling for Jalen Hurts. Funny thing about him is they asked him about the Kendrick and Drake beef, and he said he didn't care. He didn't really listen to that kind of music.
Yeah.
I can't remember who he said he listens to, but I just thought it was pretty funny because he's younger than both of them, and he was acting like he wasn't even paying attention.
Oh, shout out Philly though, man.
Oh, for sure.
That's crazy.
And Jalen Hurts went to the University of Alabama, I believe, and played there. So yeah, I like him. I like the quarterbacks that can use their legs as well as their arms. So
yeah.
All right, so.
Yeah, I don't watch too much football, bro.
I honestly, I used to be pretty deep into sports like football, college football mainly, college basketball.
Yeah.
But then after COVID and all that fun stuff happened, I haven't really.
But I like
paid
watching
attention.
the highlights, bro. Like I can't watch a full game because I'm super busy too. But when I'm eating or whatever, I'll go back and watch the highlights because you'll be like, hold on, this is a championship game. Obviously, the players are like, and when you watch the game, you're like, holy cow, you know what I'm saying? These guys are like,
oh yeah,
it's like they're aliens, bro. You know what I'm saying? But it's just practice, practice. But
okay, so kind of talking about sports and everything, like I do feel like the whole world's kind of drifted away from. I mean, like just with technology and everything, like everybody's kind of gotten away from their TV. And so I was honestly thinking about this earlier today. I wonder how sports are going to be shown in the future because like everybody's looking at their phones and like your phone is upright. It's long ways. What would that be called?
Hot dog.
Hot dog. Yeah. Everybody's watching their phones vertical now, and I just wonder when they're going to start broadcasting sports, like from a vertical lens compared to like horizontal, because that's got to be coming. And I think it's crazy where technology's going. I know a lot of people are like scared and anxious, but I feel like I'm pretty excited to kind of see where it goes.
Well, they might do it like you seen those movies where they pull out the table, and then the shit they pull out the table, and then the thing just floats up, and it'll be the player.
Like a hologram?
Right, it'll be a hologram.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But that would be crazy.
I don't know.
But I don't know. I think it's exciting times we're living in. A lot of people scared of like AI, but I don't know. I feel like the more I feel like the more everybody knows about like AI and the technology that's coming is a healthy thing. And I feel like there's so many people that's like ignoring all the changing times right now and not paying attention to like, I mean, I don't know a whole lot about AI, but I am playing around with like ChatGPT a little bit, especially for work, like for emails, because I'm terrible at coming up with stuff to say. I refuse to use it in my music, but like I know it's starting to become pretty big. Like I was watching a Kanye podcast the other day, and he was talking about how AI is making some of his new beats for his new album. I think he's got an album coming out on his daughter's birthday in July. I have to double check that, and I'll put a little banner for that. Yeah. Which who knows if Kanye will actually drop on that date, because he always likes to give dates and then postpone. Yeah. But that's
his daughter though. He probably will.
It's called Bully. I'm pretty sure is the name of the album coming out, Bully. But anyways, he was getting interviewed about that, and they were talking about he was talking about how AI is like he's using AI to kind of do some of his samples on his tracks, and he was kind of comparing that to like how hip hop when it came out, like it was using old samples of old tracks, and it's just a new technology, and if you don't hop on the wave of the technology right now, you're going to get left behind. But I do feel like there's like a fine line when it comes to using AI with art. I don't know, like I know a lot of people get stuck, and probably a lot of people now are using AI to help write their lyrics. I refuse as of right now to do that. Which a lot of my music kind of comes from freestyles, and then you take that freestyle and then write kind of what you're thinking. Yeah. But I don't know. I'm interested to see where music goes, because I know when like ChatGPT started getting really big, everybody was making like fake Drake songs. And
well, have you heard like so there was a Playboy Cardi AI verse that was leaking, right? And it was fire. And I think they had an 8-ided with The Weeknd, which is, you know, he was actually on The Weeknd's album. And if you go back and you listen to both of them, he actually used like some of those melodies, or I don't know if he used the actual vocal, but he put the AI verse, or I guess the idea, on the actual verse, bro.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. Well, Drake, he stole Tupac's voice during the rap beef on that song. I don't remember what the name of it was, but he put that song on Instagram.
Yeah.
And he was using Tupac's voice, and I think Snoop Dogg shared it or something like that.
I think Snoop Dogg was on the AI too.
I'm pretty sure he was.
If that was AI, but the Tupac stuff was definitely AI.
But like even talking about AI, like using your voice edits and making your beats, like that might make somebody that's like me. I'm very behind, like when it comes to.
Have you tried it?
I've tried. I haven't tried. I don't know. Yeah. Honestly, I don't know how to even incorporate AI into helping me craft a beat. But I'm very behind the curve when it comes to making beats. I've tried and played around with it a little bit, but honestly, like if you could figure that out and have, like, you could give a prompt to something and have it make the kind of beat that you're feeling in that moment, honestly, I think that'll help levitate artists to the place where they want to be, and you don't have to pay the money for the producers, which, I mean, you got to have producers, but
for sure.
I think it's going to be great for the art form and for coming out with some music that we've never even thought of or heard of before. And like, especially for like that little kid in me that was trying to make music at 18, 16, 14.
Yeah.
Like if you can go on there and find, like, if you can kind of create your own beat and not have to know everything about it, and you can start making your own music earlier, I think it's going to be cool for the whole the whole industry.
Hopefully, we're going to find out.
But we'll see how it pans out.
Yeah.
So all right, so give us a little bit of an intro to Chano CG.
All right, so you sweet. So yeah, my name is Chano CG, aka ACG, aka Chano. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I'm from Hendersonville. You know, Asheville is probably 20-30 minutes away. A lot of people know.
What part of Hendersonville you from?
Right now, I stay in Brevard area. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, from Hendersonville. You know, I'm Mexican. Born and raised here.
You go to school around here?
Yeah. I went to West Henderson. You know,
what
graduated
year?
2017.
Hell yeah.
That's where I actually met my boy Victor.
Let's go.
And most of the close homies. But other than that, man, you know, yeah, really, I used to play sports. I used to play soccer and stuff, you know. But you know, right now, just a regular, you know, full-time employee that likes to make music. You know what I'm saying?
Grinding every day.
Likes pretty women. You know what I'm saying?
Let's go. So how did you come up with your rap name?
So one night I was recording, right, and I was doing my ad-libs, and I was like, "Oh, you see," and I was like, "Damn."
Where do the whistles come
I'm
from?
gonna go with that. What you mean?
Like that's one of my favorite parts when you're starting that song. Like even whenever me and Victor was coming into our podcast, like all the whoosh, whoosh, where does that come from? Because that definitely helps you stand out from the crowd.
Yeah. Dude, I don't know, man. I think it's just being on the microphone and just
Having fun with it.
I guess just having fun but yeah, I mean, it's hard to explain, you know. We're just in the studio, just coming up with random stuff, but
Kind of the signature. I mean, honestly, being yourself 100% and finding like what you think's cool on a song, and then just able to put that out. That's one reason why I like to make art, is just kind of finding those little things like that, and kind of trying to separate myself, trying to showcase myself a little bit more, and show who I am and what I'm hearing in my head when the beat's playing.
yeah. But now you should hear it like before. You know, right now it sounds clean, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you should hear it before.
Before all the edits.
No, like just before, like just how I used to do it.
When did you start making music?
Like 4 years ago, I started making music with my boy Victor, aka V-Flow.
V-Flow's in the house, by the way. He's not on camera. You can come up here and say hey for a second.
What's going on? What's going on? Is V-Flow in the building?
Yeah. But I wasn't really making music. I was making beats. Cause where I used to work at, or where I work at, in like 2018, one of my managers was like, "Hey, you ever made beats?" And he had cracked FL Studio. And I guess he I don't know why he had it, but he was like, "You want to try it?" He had a USB, and I had a laptop that my mom had gave me for Christmas. Cause I told her I need a laptop. I don't know why I need a laptop. But,
it was the music calling you.
and then you know, I took the USB home. I think I gave him $5 for it. I gave him $5 for the USB. I took it home.
And that USB had the FL Studio on it?
Yeah, correct.
Ah.
Right. And then yeah, I took it home, and then I got into it, and I was getting like drums, claps, you know, all the sounds from God, what's his name? Damn, I feel bad. But yeah, I was getting all the beat packs and all the sounds and all that from this guy on YouTube. He was like linking them on his descriptions and all that. So that's how I started. I was making beats, bro. And then like I tried it probably for like 6 months. I probably finished 1-2 beats. Nothing crazy, but
When did you put your first lyric down?
so really after that, so I was making beats, and then I stopped because my laptop had caught a virus, you know, because it's cracked.
Mm-hmm.
And then probably like a year later, I was going through some things, and I started spending more time with Victor, and he was making music. And so the first time I had went over to his house, he was like, "Yo," basically he was showing me his recording routine, because he had an EP, and like it was
that the
talent show.
talent show? Yeah.
And it was heat, like Jack in the Bentley. I got a Jack in the Bentley, like straight heat. So he was like, "Yeah, you should come." No, actually, no. He was about to put that out. So Vivlo had invited me over because he was like, "Yo, you should come. You should come hang out with me," because I was in a deep spot. I was in a black hole. You know what I'm saying? So Vivlo kind of took me out of that spot. And because I was going through some things, you know what I'm saying? We all go through shit.
Oh, for sure.
But I was in a rush spot. So I started spending more time with Victor. And one day I had pulled up to one of his sessions, which was in his room. And, you know, he had a setup right there. So I pulled up. And then he said, "Yeah, this is how we're recording." And then he pulled up his software. And it was FL. And I was like, "Yo, I know how to, like, I'm pretty sure I told him in my head, I was like, yo, I know how to work this, dog. So then, you know, we would just be in there vibing and stuff. And we actually made a couple songs. But actually, we made a lot of songs
So you made your first song in V-Flow's studio that night.
in his room, yeah.
Dang.
No, actually, that day, right? No. So actually, we he had told me like, hey man, why don't we do this every day, right? Actually, I think we just started doing it every day, right? So me and Victor were in his studio every day after, cause we would go to the gym. I was spending most of my time. So I go to work, go to gym with Victor, and then we go straight to the studio. Probably not even shower, bro. No, I'm playing. But yeah, and then so we did that probably for like 3 months, 6 months, every day. And then we had a couple of songs, and then we actually had the opportunity to go and do a show.
So you kind of just hopped face first right into it.
Yeah.
So started making beats, then you meet V-Flow, then you pretty much hit the studio with him right off the bat, make some music. And then how long between that first song to your first show?
Like 6 months. But like I already knew Victor back in the day, so it was like, but I was spending more time with him, cause you know we both had you know our own life kind of shit going on, or we had our own life thing going on. So we weren't, you know, cause once you leave high school, you know, cause that's really where you get all your friends or the people you grow up with. Once you leave high school, that's really when you grow up. You know what I'm saying?
That's really when you find yourself too, I think.
So
You don't have to have that
yeah.
guard up around everybody. Once you leave high school, you're allowed to reinvent yourself, kind of find out who you really are instead of trying to worry about what everybody's thinking about you.
Yeah, because you're
For
not
sure.
spending all your time at school now, so you're getting out. You know, if you're going to college, you're going out of state, going to different cities. A lot of people, when they get out of college or get out of high school, they're going to dorms. You know what I'm saying? So really, everybody just going to their separate life. So you know, everybody goes their own path. So me and Victor hadn't really spent too much time together. So around this time, you know, I guess he probably had definitely seen me in a rush spot, you know, cause you know we're still friends, you know. But he was like, "Yo," he's like, he's like, "Man, start hitting the gym, you know." But yeah, man, basically V Flow carried the boat, and you know, put me in a lot of opportunities, and then from then, I guess we haven't stopped.
Do you think
You
like
know what I'm
music?
saying?
Do you think like music or artistry, kind of comes from that dark point of your life? Because I have a very similar story. Which I mean, I started kind of writing music. I don't know if you can even call it that. Like in second grade, I wrote my first song, and I've always loved writing songs.
Yeah.
But I didn't really start getting serious about it until I was in a pretty dark place. Just went through a breakup, and
In second grade?
no, not
No,
second
no.
grade. Second grade, I was writing country music back then.
Okay.
And then I don't know. I guess like second grade, I wrote my first song.
Yeah.
It was called "The Red-Headed Redneck." It was a pretty funny
Uh-huh.
song by a second grader. Maybe one day I'll share that. But and then I kind of just I loved writing poetry all the time. And then I kind of get to high school before I really write another song again.
Yeah.
And then I guess I was trying to just make more remixes because that was a big thing going on then. But I didn't really share that with nobody, and I didn't really tell nobody that I like to write songs at that time. And then after high school,
Mhm.
kind of going, you start dating and you start kind of having serious relationships, break up with them people, and then I would find myself after like a breakup or a dark time in life, I'd find myself listening to just instrumentals all the time and then trying to just put all those emotions out on a beat. And so if you go to my YouTube and you go to like some of my earlier stuff that I put out, which I deleted, so I guess you can't really check that out. But like a lot of it was just me it was almost like my therapy session. Like, and I started really trying to craft like my thoughts and try to understand who I am and why I'm like I am.
Mhm.
And then I guess like 2016, I got my iPad, and I had like a little jack for that, and bought my mic that I actually still use today. And like my first couple songs that I recorded in house, like I had some buddies before that I'd go to their house, but I didn't have a lot of friends that would like supported the music journey, or that really wanted to kind of hop in on that. And so I felt like so alone, honestly, until I met Victor myself. I was kind of like, I was putting music out all the time. Like 2016, I dropped a few songs which have been deleted, which I might re-release one day. They're pretty terrible. But I recorded them all on my iPad, and then I started falling in love with the music. I started making my own. Like the first couple songs I dropped, I made the beat on, and then I wrote the song too, recorded all on the iPad. And but I feel like a lot of that came out of the darkness, because like there would be girls I was dating back in the day, and like honestly, they wouldn't like let you be yourself, or you didn't feel like you could be yourself around them. So like I had a million songs I was writing on my phone, because like I don't know what the bug was, but something bit me, and all I wanted to do was make rap music all the time. But the girl I was dating back then didn't really support my vision, and so like I kind of just wrote songs all the time, but I didn't really get serious about recording. We break up, and then I hop right into the music, and kind of going through that darkness, like music helped get me out of that, and then kind of trying to elevate. And honestly, I felt like I found myself by the songs I've wrote, and by the songs I continue to write. And it kind of feels, it's almost like prophecy sometimes, which I know it seems a little crazy, but like a lot of my music, like even from like when I was in my couple days of college I went to, like I can go back and listen to that music, and it feels like it was like I like these voices in my head that was always kind of leading me to write the songs were like telling me how to walk in life, and how I want to live my life. Almost like an affirmation, like people that do affirmations kind of tell themselves I'm gonna be great, but like the music. And then you can listen to that stuff on repeat, and it's crazy how like a lot of the songs I've wrote is kind of telling me who I'm becoming. And sometimes like you'll write a song, I don't know if you have the same experience, but I'll write a song or freestyle a song, and then I notice that like a couple months later, a couple weeks later, maybe a year or so later, that's who I am, and I'll listen to that song and have a deeper understanding of what I was even saying like a year ago. So kind of on that note,
manifestation,
I feel like it's definitely a form of manifestation. I feel like making music and writing songs.
Not to sound like a weirdo,
but like no, I'm 100% in agreement. Like I feel like music is a type of meditation. I use music as almost like a prayer. Definitely meditation. Whenever I haven't made music in a while, and life gets so stressful, especially with family, kids, wife, work, and everything, it keeps piling up. Like I'll find myself, if I haven't made a song in a few months or a few weeks, sometimes like I haven't let that be expressed yet, and like I like until I get that song out or that music out or all the thoughts that are in my head out, like I'm like very sluggish and feeling like I can't get nothing done, and then like just come sitting in the studio and just letting whatever's in my mind be free and in a flow and on a beat. Like that to me, like that's the best form of therapy, and I'm very thankful that I found it at a younger age, because I've been making music pretty consistently, not really dropping consistently, but really trying to learn the craft since I was like 18. And like honestly, without it, I don't know who I would be. I don't know where I'd be. But like, what inspires you? What inspires you to create music?
The thing. So really, what inspires me to make music? I would say, just like you said, just expressing, I guess, emotions. And just trying to paint the picture. Essentially using your voice as a brush, and the laptop as the canvas. But
and talking about the canvas, like I feel like when you get that fresh beat, especially like, because I have thoughts and I'll have like these ideas, or that like they're just a random beat in my head, or just a thought, and then when you find that perfect beat that's meeting the same ideas that's going on in your head. It feels like literally like it's an empty blank canvas. And when you take that beat out of BeatStars or wherever you get your beats from, or if you're creating the beat, once that beat's put into here before you put your first lyric on, it's a brand new canvas. And then kind of like what you're saying with the words is like the paintbrush. And then you can start making each stroke everything that you want. And I don't know, like I love that process.
It's just so fun, man. Especially when you go out and you perform it, or you show the homies, you show people you care about, and they're like, oh man, like, hold on. But yeah, I mean, essentially you're creating from nothing.
From absolutely zero. Because like when you, like for people that don't make music, like whenever you're starting to make a new track, it's literally completely empty, and you gotta go find the beat, create the beat, and then once you got the beat, you either, like I used to write a lot, and anymore like I just go freestyle, and then I find my flows, find my melodies that I'm wanting to put on, and then I'll go right to that. But like it's literally like a blank slate. And it's very exciting once you got that blank slate. You got the mind rolling that day, because you definitely have to have the right mindset ready to go make a song. Because I mean, there'll be sometimes like I do a thing called rap roulette, where like when I'm stuck or in writer's block, I'll just go freestyle. And it might be repetitive, very repetitive, but like maybe it might be 5 different studio sessions. I just freestyle, and I'm just trying to get myself back out of it. But when you had that magic happen, and you're in the moment, and the creative juices are all flowing through you, like I haven't found anything that makes me feel more alive, I guess, than when you have that blank canvas and everything works out right, and you get to make the song that you're wanting to make that night.
It's exciting, especially when because you have that. Sometimes you have the idea, you get the beat, you load it up, and then it's like, So some nights you'll have like the night where it's like, I got this idea, it doesn't work. And then sometimes you'll go to the next site, you'll get the new idea, and then it actually sounds pretty good, and you're like, okay. And then when you finish it, it's like, holy cow, like, all right.
Now finishing songs, so like my most difficult part is, especially lately, like in the last couple years, well, probably the whole time I've ever made music, is getting that final touch on it. Yeah. What's your process look like trying to get that final touch on it? Because like I get excited, and you'll make a song, and I try to make, like if I come in the studio that night, I try to finish whatever song I'm working on. And typically if I don't finish that song that night within that studio session, like it's very difficult for me to go back and finish. But even the songs that I finish in that night, when I'm going to edit and drop, like I'll find myself trying to skim through the mixing process. So what's something that you do that helps get you the song done after all the vocals are recorded and everything, and you're hitting that mixing session? Like what's something you do to try to make sure you get the quality on the song that you want?
No, and I feel what you're saying. Like, so like what helps me finish every song? Because I used to have that problem too, where I couldn't finish the songs. But really what helps me finish a song is really just, if I'm going to the studio, normally I don't have my beats ready.
So you go into the studio fresh mind, clean slate. See, that's the way I love to go into the studio. Is like I don't know what's gonna happen. I might have some ideas rolling, but I don't want to know I don't want you to send, like, I don't know, I guess a feature's a little different. But even if you send me a feature, I don't want to know. I might listen to it one time, and then I won't play it again until I get in the studio, because like I feel like it's a magical place to go start writing that song. And like I just feel like you're not going to get it done if you listen to it 20 times before you go write it.
Well, for features it's different, but most of the time I go in the studio, I just go straight to the studio, because it's in my house. I got a home studio. I don't have my dogs in there, because my dog, shout out Bentley, my dog actually likes to poop in there.
What kind of dog you got?
I got a golden doodle.
Oh, hell yeah.
Medium size. Whoever knows how to cut dog hair, hit me up for real. But yeah, so I go in there, no dogs. Probably grab me like something to drink. it's usually not water. You know what I'm saying? But so yeah, I go in my studio. No beats. Like I said, I turn all my stuff on. If it's cold, you know, I turn my heater on. You know what I'm saying?
Get the right setting made.
Yeah. You know, sometimes I go down in my work clothes. Sometimes I go down my PJs. Or if I go out, you know, I go in my out clothes, I guess. But yeah, I go straight to the studio. But the thing is too, when I'm going to the studio, like, even if my life isn't where I want it to be, you know, I still have to have certain stuff in check. So, you know, my dog, my dog's got to be straight. You know, the water bowls are full. You know, my house is clean. For some reason, bro, like, I can't make music if, like, my bedroom is dirty, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I don't know why, you know. You know, it might have been all the whoopings from my mom, you know what I'm saying? Just growing up, but yes, I just go straight to the studio, no beats, hop right in, and then I have my producers on YouTube, or sometimes they'll send me emails, so I go straight to my emails, or I go straight to my YouTube, play the beats on the speaker, boom, you know, all the way up, and
So you do you listen to the full beat before you start writing the song?
so I'll just start listening to it. And if I vibe with it, sometimes it's the first one. When I'm with Victor, it's always the first beat we play. Cause me and Victor always do that process too. So we go in, boom. Whatever beat we're vibing with, then for me, I'll go in and write it, or like I'll probably come up with the first couple words, and then I'll pull it up on my software, and then I'll try, like, you know, I'll do it, and if it works, it works. That's really my whole process. So, you know, I do a hook verse or whatever, how it goes. Then I'll go back, ad libs, you know, and then from then it's just, you know, I send it to my phone, and then
you listen to it 20 times.
send a couple videos to my boys, you know.
Yeah.
It's coming, but either way, but that's really my whole process. I just, you know, make the song, and then once it's time to put it out, I'll go back and master it.
So you kind of let it sit there for a little while once you've made it. Probably listening to it yourself for a little while, and then kind of decide if you still like it later on to drop.
Yeah, and then if I have verse or if I have hooks, stuff that I don't use, whenever my friends come over, or my other artists, hold on. Whenever I have like open verses or open hooks that I don't use, like if Victor comes around, or if my boys come around, like Exela, I'll show them that a lot of the songs that I have, like with my friends, like Victor and Exela, it's songs that they were cool to hop on. So it's like, you know, those songs probably would have gone, you know, straight to the recycle bin or whatever. Because the thing that I like to think about too about unfinished songs is that, you know, when you get to where you want to be, you can go back, be like, hey, I have this from 2016. What can Mike D do with it? What can T-Pain or DJ Khaled? What can you do with this? Because once you get to that, you know, that stepping stone, I guess, that level, I guess, you know, something that you might have thought, oh man, this shit trash. And then you give it to Mike Dean or something, boom. And then, obviously you'll be working at a higher level, so it'll be a lot better than when it was when you were doing it in your closet. You know, that's the only thing I like to think about. So I just like to think in a positive way about anything, and I just don't like forcing stuff, if that makes sense.
Like on like songs you're talking about, like maybe thinking about throwing away. One of my favorite songs now that I've wrote and I'm not sure if people listen to it or not, is called Go Chase Your Dreams.
Yeah.
And so last year I was trying to finish up my album. I was actually in the middle of making the album, and Victor actually came over, and
Shout out B-Flow.
I think we were making that Tell Me What You Need song that night. And so,
fire.
of course,
Yeah,
after you, like,
that shit
if you
fire.
ever meet another artist and y'all are vibing pretty good and everything's going good in the studio, you're going to show them your whole catalog of songs that I don't know if they want to listen to or not. But that Go Chase Your Dreams song,
Yeah.
I showed Victor, and like I was never like it's slow. It's not really rappy. It's a lot of singing, and I don't feel like I can sing it all.
Yeah.
But I showed Victor that song, and honestly, I liked it a little bit, and I feel like it really showed me in a different light than I've ever kind of put out about myself.
Yeah.
And I showed that to Victor, and then he's like, "Man, I love that song. You got to try to put that out." And so once he gave me that confidence that song wasn't terrible, like honestly, I was gonna trash it, and like just having one person's opinion say, "No, man, that's actually pretty good. It's different, but it's good." It helped me kind of it opened my eyes up to like maybe that's another avenue or a different type of song that I can make. And so I ended up putting it as the second song on my album, Poured from the Soul, that I dropped last year.
Fire.
And I mean, honestly, it's a little different. It's slower and everything, but I actually performed it for the first time back in December, and I can't sing, but like as I was performing it and everybody was listening to it and kind of vibing with it, I felt like it had a whole nother layer when I performed it live compared to whenever I was just listening to it. And then whenever I was performing the song, it opened up different levels in my mind and just added a whole nother layer to it. And it's like I almost trashed that song, and I'm so glad that like I didn't trash that song. I'm glad I didn't delete it. And I'm like looking back now, like I'm very thankful that I finished the song, and most of that song was a freestyle too, which is crazy. Like literally, I freestyled at one time. I might have switched like 10 words on it, maybe a little more than that, but like it was complete. And I showed Victor the raw version before I made any edits or re-recorded any of it. And
That's close.
I think it's crazy how like one person's opinion can like help you put the song out that needs to be put out.
Yeah.
And like I've heard a lot is like even your worst song in your opinion could be your best song. And so
Sure.
trying not to take a song off, even if you're not feeling it that night. Like you might like the song that you're making the night that you're kind of feeling off later on.
Yeah.
And that's the magical part of music that I don't feel like unless you're creating music, you probably don't understand. But and that makes me want to keep coming back to make music.
Yeah. Well, the thing is too is like, so I don't know if the people have heard Clavos yet, the Spanish song I put out. I was making it and my voice had went out, you know. So I was like, traigo puros clavos bien entrados. So I was like, I was just now getting into that deep voice. I guess you can call it the ACG. But I had Victor and Zella had pulled up, so we were doing a session. All right, y'all pull up. And then when they pulled up, I was working on it. And then Victor was like, oh, like right when it was like towards the middle. Victor was like, yo, man. He's like, he's like, are you gonna finish it? I was like, no, like you guys came here to record, like, pull some beats up, and like, nah. And then Zella actually helped me with the second verse. So like, this is what I got. Boom. And then recorded a song, and then Victor and Zella pretty much helped me. I guess like you were saying, they pushed me to finish that song. But that's really it's really crazy because sometimes you'll get feedback, right? But it won't be the feedback that you want.
And honestly, like honest feedback is don't be hating and giving feedback, but like there's a difference between hating on somebody because they're doing something that you wish you could do and giving honest feedback.
Yeah.
And like you don't want to like honestly everybody wants to hear that their music's great, but like there's a certain amount of people that I'll show my music to, and maybe they don't even understand it, but like there's some people's opinions that I trust, and hey, is this good?
Yeah.
Is this trash?
Yeah.
Because like honestly, you love every little piece of art that you make, and everything might not be ready to be shared with the world, right?
Yeah.
But I do feel like honest feedback is what artists really need, like to like whenever you're thinking about putting a song in the trash, someone can say, hey, no, that's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
And then something you think might be really good might actually be trash, and that same person might be like, I would work on that a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So giving like honest feedback to your friends that make music, or like if you're an artist trying to make a song, I feel like that's the best thing, and not having no competition in that. Like when you're being vulnerable enough to share that song with somebody.
Yeah.
I feel like my favorite thing is to get honest feedback, not because definitely you're gonna show your song to people, they're gonna be jealous that you make music or that they don't make music, and they're just gonna hate, all that sucks or whatever.
Well, it's like when you're at the gym, right? You're first starting out, and then you got that one dude that comes over like, nah, do it like this. And then you look at Brody, and you know what I'm saying, he ain't got no results, so it's like,
yeah.
I ain't gonna listen to him. And then, but when like, you know, Victor was giving me advice on the gym, and you know, Victor was like, you know, my boy he was pushing that P.
He's going for Mr. Olympia.
You know
right
what I'm saying?
now,
Oh, like, damn, like Brody was him. So it's like, yeah, I'm gonna listen to him. So like, the thing is, you gotta take advice from people that have the results.
And like listening to advice from somebody that's actually trying to do what you do, or like at least understand what you're trying to do, and coming out of a place of love compared to a place of envy. Because I guess like when I was first starting to try to make music, like obviously it wasn't the greatest music, and I'm still not there now, but I had a lot of like a lot of the voices in your head can like help you make more music, or it can help deter you from following your dreams. And
for sure,
I feel like definitely your friend group and the people you hang out with and see on a daily basis can definitely help you either evolve or fall down to the bottom with them. And like trying to get yourself around positive people, but honest people, like not just positive people. That's everything you do is great, but like someone that's positive, that's trying to motivate you and push you to be your best self. I feel like those are the people you need to keep in your life. And like just in any aspect outside of music, work, or anything, like you gotta watch your friends. You gotta watch the people that you're letting in your head, because like those voices, like I still even have voices in my head now today, like that don't help me out very well, just because at times in my life I had different friends groups that would be that like it's almost like they get stuck in a place and they don't want you to be better than them, so they just try to keep you at their level, and you want to rise out of that.
It sucks because people that, you know, it comes from people that you care about and stuff, and then when that kind of stuff happens, or you hear this from, you hear this from this, or you hear from this, it sucks, man. Especially having envy from people that you care about, bro, or people that you looked out for, people that you did, free stuff for, whatever. It's crazy, but at the same time, you gotta know when to let stuff go,
and not feel bad about cut. Like even though you might have a lot of love for them people, but where your path's going and where you want to be at, you know that you gotta cut those people out of your life.
I guess they're not meant to be. Yeah. You know what sucks about life is that what's meant to be fucking sucks, dog.
And sometimes you got to go through that suck to find out who you are and how strong you are. And like, so I run a business, and honestly, the stuff that helps me try to be successful in business is the stuff that I've screwed up so many times, and like constantly screwed up, until the point where I learned that you don't do this, you don't do that, you got to act like this, you got to act like that, you got to always be ready for that next call. You always got to be ready to be making the right answer. And sometimes you're gonna make the wrong call, but you gotta be.
Yeah.
And if you don't go through them tough times, you don't get that hard discipline, and you don't screw up and like lose everything a couple of times. It's hard to know what those right answers are in the right situations, because you'll get like if you always got a safety net, or you don't go through that struggle, you don't go through that hard time alone, sometimes you don't find out how strong you can really be. And then if you do get successful and you haven't went through that darkness or them hard times yet, that's always going to come. Like, it's always lurking in the background, no matter where you're at in life. Like, it's always lurking. So like, and the way you get confidence is overcoming those challenges, overcoming that darkness time after time after time.
It's like leveling up, I guess. Right?
For sure. And it's the same thing with music. And sometimes you got to lose all your friends and find yourself like,
no, you will.
And then you'll surround yourself with the right people. Like, I mean, I feel like I'm part of Pasado clique sometimes.
Nah, you are Pasado.
And like, honestly, y'all have helped push me to like, before I've made music a long time, and I've released music a lot. And I didn't really start dropping music until I started hanging out with y'all. And it was like an environment that it was okay for me to be an artist. It's okay for me to try something new, show y'all. And it might be like, you could do better on this, or maybe that's not my taste, but it's still art. Yeah. And so you're okay with expressing yourself in maybe different ways. And then getting yourself out there in front of people, performing, showing off what you can do. And then you never know who's in that crowd that might enjoy your music and then might become a fan and like your songs. Yeah.
Those are people that matter, though.
Oh, for sure. And it's like
1 out of 10.
Having the right people in your life can help elevate you compared to having the wrong people. And I feel like that's something that, like, if I had a message to anybody, is like, find the right people in your life, even if you got to be alone for a while.
You
like,
will
if you're genuinely yourself. Like, honestly, if I wouldn't have been myself and talked to Victor about making music, we probably would have never made that connection. And so allowing yourself to be yourself, I feel like, is probably the first stepping stone to making it to where you want to be in life. Mm-hmm. And like, if you have a lot of negative voices around you, like, and you don't feel like you can be yourself or stuff like that, like, you're always gonna be you. And I mean, honestly, a lot of people get trapped in that cycle, and they never are allowed to be themselves, and they never can find the right people because they keep keeping the wrong people in their life. So
who do you think pushing that? Who do you think pushing that?
Who's pushing that? I think a lot of that comes from being at home. Your parents push that. Like, I know my mom, she always told me I could do anything that I wanted to do with my life, and that I could be great if I wanted to be. So shout out to my mom. I know she's gonna be listening to this because she's one of my biggest fans. But
man, I love my mom.
But my mom always telling me that I can do anything I want to as long as I put my mind to it. It's honestly been one of the best things. And a lot of people don't have that support in their life, and then they take that support, or they take their life out into their friendships and everything, and everything's negative. And then, and I'm not saying there's no hope. Like, obviously everybody's got some hope in their life, but honestly, when you find yourself alone on that island somewhere, you got to make a decision. Like, am I going to be who I feel like I need to be, or am I going to keep trying to follow the crowd? Am I going to keep being with the friends I'm with now, or am I going to try to evolve? And like, it's scary because you're alone, but it's easy to call your old friends and call the people that are holding you down compared to going alone for a while. Because like, when you're on that island, you don't know who's going to come around. You don't know who's going to find you. But I feel like just putting that out into the universe, like, this is who I really am. You're going to attract the right people in your life to help get you where you want to be at.
Look, if you put it like this on the island thing, so you could be on an island, right? So let's say you're on an island, right? Are you gonna, let's say you see smoke. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, all right, I'm on the island. Am I gonna give up and just die right here? Or am I gonna go look for food? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you shouldn't really need anybody's type of motivation or type of anything. Even me telling you this shit. You know what I'm saying? But it does help. that's why it's very important. You know what I'm saying? If you have, that's why it's important, because a lot of people don't have, you know, their moms or their parents or their pops or their own homie, their own brother, you know, their own cousin. Like, a lot of people don't have that validation that they need. So that's why it's very important, if you have somebody that you care about, to be like, yo, keep doing this. Don't do this. Especially if you have experienced that. Cause like, let's say, you know, my path has been different, and I learned from this or that, or you're somebody who learned from not having parents. You know, your best friend or somebody you care about, you could teach them how to overcome that emptiness in 10 minutes or in a couple of days, and it might have took you 10 years to overcome that. So that's why it's very important to have that team, and if you're somebody who has that team, to really look out and, you know, try to show them and try to show each other how to be the best, you know, because
you're really only going to try to decide to be the best if you make that decision in your own mind.
yeah,
And no one else can really make that.
It's hard though, but because, like, you know, if you're around people that care about you, they might be like, yo, don't do this. And it might be something that, you know, might be a habit or something. And it's like, bro, like, and then you stop doing it, or it's like it's like when Viflo was taking me to the gym, it's like, all right, bro, you gonna hit the gym every day. Like, you know, there was days where I didn't want to go to the gym, bro. You know what I'm saying? And then I probably went to the gym, and it's like, holy cow, I might have maxed out that day. Or it's like something that you probably thought was unimaginable, I guess that you could say. So it's like, that kind of shows you that boundary. Because a lot of people live life like, oh, I can only run a mile in 10 minutes. But then it's like, you know, they put the work in. Damn, I ran a mile in 3 minutes. Well, no, I think that's impossible, right?
Well, I think like it's under 4 minutes now.
Okay.
It was like impossible to run a mile within 4 minutes, and then
All right.
somebody did it. I don't know their name.
You know what I'm saying, though. But it's
yeah.
It's stuff like that. You know, B-Flow told me, like, yeah, bro, you can lift way past your body weight if you wanted to. And it's like, yeah, you might have been growing up around people who could do it. But then when you do it, it's like, holy cow, like, you know,
I did this.
I couldn't do that, you know. But then you do it, and it's like, that was easy, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, man.
And I feel like you find that belief in yourself by trying to be genuine and true to yourself.
Yeah.
And not trying to be who people want you to be, but being your genuine self and being vulnerable.
Yeah.
And trying to, like, I don't know how else to say it, like, other than like being genuinely yourself 100%, and not trying to put on a show, not trying to put on a mask, and that's where I feel like that's where you find like true happiness and like the true meaning of life. Like, this is who I am, this is who I've always felt like I am, and I'm okay with being who I am. To kind of hop on to the next hopping on to the next subject. So I've looked at your music a little bit, and you get some views on some videos, you get some views on some songs. What are you doing to try to help promote that music and get your music heard?
Oh, really just being consistent, man, and having the right visuals. You know what I'm saying? Cause like, you know, a lot of people want to go and shoot a video, right? But it's like, all right, where are you gonna shoot it?
What angle?
What do you need? Like, yeah, like, you know, get like, you don't want to pull up to the video with no cut. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Especially if you're making like a love song or something. You gotta be fresh. So it's like, really just putting thought into it, and just really I guess trying your best and just being consistent, really. But yeah, and I mean, I guess, you know, whatever works, just keep doing that. And
how are you? So, like, I've noticed lately that you are putting out, it almost seems like you're putting out a reel, a short, something every single day. how are you creating that much content and staying consistent? Like, do you have any kind of routines? Are you shooting all the videos in one day and then editing and then having a whole thing ready to go? Like, what's that process look like to have your content out with your music?
Yeah, I just I guess when I got an idea, or I guess when I go out, or actually put it like this, like someday, like back in the day, well, right now I just started doing a content thing, but I feel like it's gonna work. You know, I feel like sooner or later I'm gonna be at Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
I'm playing. No, but
like, no joke, like
Yeah.
that let me look this song up. What's that new song you just dropped? Going 80 in a 45.
Oh, getting busy. No. So all that,
Like, I'll be honest, like, what's the name of that song?
get in position.
Get in what?
Get in position.
Get in position. All right, so that new song you just dropped, Get in Position, I like, honestly, that chorus gets stuck in my head all the time, and like, a big reason is it's very catchy, but then I'm on Instagram, and every time I'm on Instagram, I'm hearing that part of the song, and so, like, I feel like that's a huge part of branding, because there's multiple songs, like, especially with, like, the way social media is moving today, like, you'll just hear clips of songs, and then you'll know that song, and it just becomes recognizable, and then you start to enjoy that song more, and to the point where you go click and play the whole song.
No, it's just I guess I'm very time managed. Like, my time, I manage it I'm very particular about what I do with my time. So it's like, when I get out of work, because everybody got to work. I got a 9 to 5. You know what I'm saying? But if you know, you know. But yeah. So basically, like, just with my time, when I get out of work. Right now, since I have so much music, because I have a lot of music, bro. Like, it's honestly a headache, but it's a good headache. You know what I'm saying? It's like I ain't gonna say it, but
It's a good headache to have.
it's a good headache to have. So right now, our mission right now is just, instead of making music, we're just putting your face out there, and just instead of going to the studio, I'll go and make a video or something. Shout out my cameraman, but
What's your cameraman's name?
Shooting Star.
Shooting Star. Go check
Yeah.
him out. He got an IG or anything?
Not yet.
Not yet. He's working on it though.
It's cause he only works for me right now.
Bet.
Actually,
don't go check him out yet.
He don't. No. I didn't. Nah. So he got he got an Instagram, but it's in the works. It's cause right now we're trying things out, but really, I think he did a V-Flow's last videos too. But it's just my cousin is the one that's shooting the videos right now. So it just goes back to, like, just doing your best with what you have, I guess.
Yeah. I think that's
You know what I'm saying?
I think that's the thing that discourages a lot of people from being creative, is they think they gotta have all the right equipment. They gotta have the whole setup. They gotta have this. They gotta have that. And in reality, to create art and try to express yourself, you can. I mean, everybody nowadays pretty much has a phone, and you can find yourself. You can find yourself there. I mean, you can make, like, if you don't have a microphone, you don't have Logic, you don't have GarageBand, you don't have FL Studio. Like, there's a way. Like, if you really want to be a creative and you really want to try to find out how to create some art, there's a way to find that. And I feel like a lot of people get discouraged because they don't feel like they got the right thing. So using what you have at the time, like when I was first starting to make music, I had an iPad, a mic, and I just bought a jack that I could use my iPad for. And just because I used to use the excuse, I don't have anything to make the music with, instead of trying to figure out a solution to try to make music with what I have right now. And then eventually you can grow to the point where you have all the studio equipment and everything. But definitely using what you have right now, even if it's just an iPhone or any kind of phone, you got a camera on there and just some kind of visual to get your stuff going and get up off the ground moving with it is huge. And that's that first big step, and then you can always evolve it from there.
Just make it work.
So kind of talking about evolving, like what's like the biggest things you've noticed as you're in year 4 of making your music now? Yeah. How has your process changed and evolved making music?
Nah, just stepping out of my comfort zone, I guess you could say. Cause like well, back in the day, actually I guess say it like this, just really just stepping out of your comfort zone, cause and really just going to places where you wouldn't really normally be, especially like me. I don't really go out that much, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, just going to new spots and just really just how could I put it? Really just what's changed is just learning really what I'm capable of, you know what I'm saying? Cause like, you know, I didn't know. Cause you know, I think my first song took me like 14 hours to write. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
So I just really just started challenging myself. So it's like, all right, today I'm gonna make one song in the morning before I go to work, and one song at night when I get back. So I kind of just set goals, and then that's really when I made a lot of people like mix it up, put some money.
And the less rules you have, the more I feel like the less rules you kind of put to your music or to your creative process, the better it is.
Yeah,
you gotta have maybe some rules, but the biggest rule is there are no rules.
Yeah, and just really
I feel
knowing
like you're allowed to create and be who you want to be with that mindset.
Exactly, but at the same time, you gotta know exactly what not to do. So it's like, I'm not gonna go in the studio wasted. You know what I'm saying?
True.
Because like, there might have been nights where it's like, all right, I'm gonna go here, and then, you know, you might have wasted a whole night because you were wasted. So it's like, the next studio says, you know, you don't go wasted. You know, then you might actually get some work done. So it's like, you just gotta know your boundaries, man. But at the same time, don't let the boundary get in the way. Cause there's boundaries that are good. Cause you gotta have what did Flo say earlier? You gotta have like, you know what I'm saying?
You gotta keep that vision going.
No, like you gotta. So basically, how I put it, you gotta have a standard.
Yep.
But at the same time,
you gotta be free enough to express yourself with that same standard in mind.
Yeah, you gotta have a standard, and you can't have that boundary though. So it's like, all right, my boundary back in the day was, I'm gonna write before I start recording, or I'm gonna have the beat ready. Now, how about now you start, you know, switching it up? Cause I had my boy, he was like, bro, he's like, cause I was taking a lot of time writing my music, right? 2-3 hours, like, nah, I'm gonna write the whole thing. I might have already recorded a hook. I'm gonna write the whole thing. And then my boy was like, hey, man, you should try punching in. He's like, I guarantee you'll have more ideas. And then that'll save you time from writing type shit. So I was like, all right, I'm going to try it. Did I want to try it? No. You know what I'm saying? If I'm being honest, like, it's like, you know, because you got your way. It's like, you know what you know. But then it's like, I'm punching in, and I'm punching in. And it's like, all right. I finished this song in 2 hours because I was punching in.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So it was like,
and you I feel like when you do that, you find different flows, different melodies, because like you're allowing yourself to be freer on the track and vibe with the music compared to being strict to just the lyrics. And you can like, and one thing I've learned in that with kind of punching in, freestyling, hopping on right on the beat is like, you can always rewrite the stuff that you're freestyling and make it as deep as you want it to be. But sometimes when you restrict yourself to just writing it and then hopping on the track, you can't ever find that flow.
Sticking to the script.
For sure,
What they
for
say.
sure. I got a question. What do you do to help get your mindset ready? Do you practice like meditation, reading, journaling, praying?
Yeah.
Like what's kind of your how do you get your mindset ready?
Really? No, I actually pray a lot. You know what I'm saying? But the thing about me is I pray when it's good. You know what I'm saying?
That's the most important time to pray.
Yeah, cause I I was looking back and I was like, I'm always praying when it's rough. I'm always asking, but no, I just really just appreciating everything, and but at the same time too is actually expanding you know what I know and what I've learned, cause I feel like especially being you know Mexican, you know you really got like a I don't know how to put it, but you got like a boundary, cause like you know you're taught what they know, you know, and you know like my parents, you know they came actually I don't know if I want to put this out there, but yeah. So basically,
yeah.
so basically, you know, if you know, like I'm a first generation. You know what I'm saying? So it's like my parents, they didn't even know about credit or really about anything that is an advantage to other people. So it's like I didn't know like with a credit, with a good credit score, you know, you can get loans, car loans, phone loans. Cause you know, unless you're working, when you turn 18 and you don't have a car, you know what I'm saying? It's like, so like when you turn 18, it's like, you know, if you weren't working, like, and your parents didn't have that car for you, or like some way to kind of get away, you know, around town or whatever, do what you got to do. It's like, you have to go and get it. So it's like, all right, I didn't know if I go here, you know, they might pay me more because I know English and Spanish, or if I go here. So it's like, you know, I guess you learn as you go, but thank God, like, whenever I first got my first job, which is where I still work at, because um, there was my manager basically he taught me everything. You know what I'm saying? Shout out Matt. But he's like, yeah, like you know, I didn't have that money. I didn't have the I couldn't go and buy like a you know 2K whip. Well actually, cause what I did, you know, I bought a whip like 2K 3K, and you know, it broke down. You know what I'm saying? Cause like if you're going to work, if you got a daily, you're not gonna have a whip that you gotta keep money in, or you gotta do this and that, this and that. So if you're getting to work and you're making a decent amount of money, you could probably afford to go and get you know something that's gonna get you to work. You could pay for it type. But yeah, I didn't know, so like I went got a whip, hella interest rate. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think I didn't even look at the paperwork, man. I'm not gonna say what dealership it was, but it was a buy here, pay here.
Yep.
So I didn't know. I can go to a bank and just be like, oh, this is where I work. Like this is I got steady income. And you know, if you go into the right bank, presentable, you know, they'll with no credit they'll give you the money that you need, especially with no credit. Nothing crazy. They'll give it to you. I didn't know that. You know, I went to the buyer right here. Bro, my manager said, "What's that interest rate looking like?" Like, what you mean? I got the whip.
What's the interest rate?
Man, bro, I was so happy, right? And I went and I was like, yeah. He's like, what's the interest rate? Bruh, 25%. You know what I'm saying?
They got me on credit cards like that.
On a $10,000 car, bro, with no credit. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, what? Like, it's just stuff like that, you know. It probably could have took me. I could have stayed in that loan, put hella money down, lost hella money on interest. Cause all I had to do, what I did, like the next week, probably the next day, I went to my bank. I'm not gonna say what it is, but I went to my bank and man, I just went in there and talked to him like, yeah, can I refinance? You know, I'm not gonna say what refinance is. Like, if you know what refinance is, you know. But so I did a refinance basically, and then man,
Got a lot better interest rate on that.
bro, like yeah, like way under 5, like
Oh yeah.
way under 5%, and it's just like that's the kind of people you gotta keep in your life. You know what I'm saying?
So you feel like kind of like praying, getting your mind centered with God or a higher power helps kind of lead you in that direction to make the better decisions?
Oh yeah, going back to the question, yeah, really just what keeps me in a good mindset is just being grateful and just listening to what you gotta do and not ignoring those signs, cause sometimes it takes you a lot of days, a lot of months, a lot of tears, a lot of years to learn that lesson that you could have learned the first time. So it's like you gotta know when to, change, I guess. But yeah, I guess just really what helps me is just being grateful and just sitting back and whenever I have the time to just think about what I gotta do better or what I need to do to become who I wanna be, I guess.
So, like I know that meditation and prayer has been huge in my life, especially trying to run a company, because like everybody thinks that everything should, like, as soon as you start a business, you're rich, and that you don't experience any hard times being the boss or trying to run your own company or anything. And I found that meditation, praying, and really trying to seek that higher power in my own life, following God and trying to follow His will instead of trying to do what I want to do, has really helped me make some really tough decisions, even though maybe at the time I didn't understand it. But really trying to dig deep in my mind, really trying to pray, really trying to seek God's face has really helped me find my path and try to stay on that path.
Yeah.
So I do feel like meditation, praying, visualizing, journaling, reading, and constantly working on your own mind can really help you with your mindset and try to help you stay on the path that you need to go on to find success in your life.
For sure. Yeah, you can't let the distractions lead you to the wrong way, you know what I'm saying? Cuz you might have, that those little 5 minutes where you're by yourself, but it's like, am I going to be on TikTok, scrolling, or am I going to be thinking about where I'm at, you know what I'm saying? So it's like,
One thing I've heard is like you're either a creator or a consumer, and so like I always try to keep the mindset I want to be a creator instead of someone just consuming content all the time. So sometimes I won't even be on, like I'll miss posts that everybody else is posting, but it's because like I haven't really tried to check anything in a while. And I'll find myself scrolling for days and days, and then I'll get my weekly report, and you'll spend like 20 hours a week on Instagram or Facebook. It's like, oh,
nah, I mean, if you got your shit together, man, you can, well, like whatever will fuel, that happiness or whatever, you know what I'm saying, whatever helps you, like do it, man. Like if it helps you to play Call of Duty or to be on Fortnite, or you know what I'm saying, to be on TikTok, like if it helps you, just do it. But at the same time, you gotta have your limit. Like, if you gotta let your dogs out or whatever, you gotta do this. You gotta go, maybe go pick up your girl from work, your girl or something. You gotta pick up your girl, or you gotta go do this for your moms or whatever. You're not gonna put Call of Duty over that. You know what I'm saying? So you have to have certain rules. You know what I'm saying? If you're gonna have certain lifestyles, you gotta have rules. 'Cause like you might need a little drink before that studio session, and you might have work the next day. But it's like no matter what time I go to sleep, I'm still gonna make it to work. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause like you gotta have that what they call it. You gotta have that fuck.
That discipline.
Yeah, you basically gotta have that discipline. Did you get where you wanna be, Like yeah, you might drink, but if you're not disciplined enough, you might have way too many beers and you're gonna miss work the next day.
Oh, for sure.
And boom, you get fired.
And
Boom.
discipline's like in every little aspect of your life. Like if you don't have no discipline, I feel like the keys to success, like the number one key to success, is discipline. Because without it, stuff comes easy, and then you're always like, no matter what, like life, business, music, whatever you're pursuing is always gonna have ups and downs. And if you're not disciplined, like you might start on the up, and you might go very far on that, but you're always gonna have to come back down. And if you don't have that discipline in your life, then when you come down, you might not ever get back up. And so that's why I'm thinking like having some good practices to kind of keep your mindset, whether it's reading self-help books, reading books that just kind of challenge your mind, finding yourself, doing some breathing techniques, meditating, praying, finding God, finding your higher power. I feel like without that stuff, you're like, even being in the gym, finding like music to me is almost a meditation, almost a prayer. So like to me is almost like that's something that helps keep me grounded. Yeah. And without that, like I don't know how you achieve success without trying to work on your mindset.
Sure.
So we're about to wrap this thing up. So do you have any upcoming projects coming out? Any singles? Any EPs? Any albums? What's your plans for 2025 this year?
Actually, I'm about to drop another song in a couple weeks, maybe like 2-3 weeks. But my album is coming. I don't have the exact date yet, but my album is coming. It's called Respectfully.
Respectfully.
The last 2 songs y'all heard is basically what's gonna be on that project. But I'm gonna have a couple features. I'm gonna have V-Flow on it. I got Kane on it. I got Excella on it.
It sounds like all you need is an iMAXX feature now.
Yeah, man. Hopefully tonight we're gonna cook right.
Let's go. Let's go.
Mic and stuff. So, but yeah, we got that show coming up in March.
March 8th, I believe. March 8th.
I think it's the
6th. March 6th. Yep, you're right.
Yeah.
So March 6th, where can people find that show at?
So we got that show March 6th. The Well. You can find that on my Instagram, ACG828.
And I believe we'll be live streaming that show as well.
Yeah, so that'll be on The Well Asheville.
And possibly on we all should be sharing it. Anybody on Pasado Click will be sharing that video that night. March 6th around 8 to 10. So keep your eyes open.
Yeah, and so that's only the second one too. So if you have talent and you want to come be on the showcase, we only do 8 slots.
8 slots
every month. So if you want to be on it, just hit me up or hit iMAXX up or V-Flow. But yeah, really just my album coming out. I'm not sure when, but it's called Respectfully. Me and V-Flow have been working very hard on it, and honestly, bro, I'm gonna be bumping V-Flow's EP for all year, bro. Yeah, V-Flow's EP is crazy.
And that is called Winter Arc, and by the time this airs, it should already be out on February 14th.
And that curve, baby.
So I'll put a link. I'll put a link to his album on this episode.
Stop playing with V-Flow.
So, but check it out. Yeah. Check out our music again. Where can people find you at?
So you can find me on ACG828 all social media, and you can call me Chano CG or ACG, or you can call me. My name is ACG, and this is the iMAXX podcast. You know what I'm saying?
iMAXX. All right. Well, thank you for tuning in. Bet.
The iMAXX Podcast.